Hey friends! In today's Oura Ring review, we're going to focus on this one piece of tech. Just one of the most popular health wearables out there, the Oura Ring Gen 3. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. And to tell you the truth, I actually made a few mistakes within the first 24 hours of getting my Oura Ring that almost cost me $450, so definitely stick around to find out what those were and to avoid making the same mistakes. But first, let's get something straight. What is the Oura Ring? Oura Ring is the original and most highly regarded ring-shaped sleep, recovery, and activity tracker on the market. There are some up-and-coming competitors which look interesting, but at the moment, Oura still seems to have the lead when it comes to comfort and data accuracy. And when you go to buy one, you'll want to start out by receiving the ring sizer in the mail. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this is your first Oura Ring, don't guess. Even if you think you know your ring size already, just let them send you the damn ring sizer first. I wanted to wear mine on my index finger, where it's supposed to be, or the ring or the middle finger, and I thought I knew my size, but guess what? I was wrong. So now I have to walk around wearing this on my ring finger despite the fact that I'm not married. Total friggin' block. The Oura Ring starts at $300 and can cost even more depending on which style you choose. The one on my finger was $450, but it's the one I thought looked the coolest. Naturally, I do have an affiliate referral link down below, which I'll try my best to keep updated with the best current deal possible. But even after paying all that, it's still $6 a month to access all your data and full functionality of the app. I don't like that either, and believe me, we're going to circle back to that point. Oura measures your sleep performance, your physical activity, and other health metrics like your resting heart rate variability, body temperature, and respiratory rate. It then crunches all this information to give... Ooh, I don't like that. It then crunches all this information to give you a readiness score for the day so you can get a quick overview of how recovered you are for the day. You can see where you're doing well and where your daily habits can use some improvement. And this can be super valuable for helping you to recognize patterns like being less ready due to a decreased HRV from drinking alcohol and eating a meal right before bed, or being more ready due to meditating and getting a great night's sleep. If you're actually serious about making positive life changes to maximize your performance or optimize your sleep, these insights can definitely help you reach those goals. I'm not going to dig too deep into all the data Oura can track right now because it can be a lot, but I do want to dig a little deeper into the sleep and activity tracking sections just a bit. So by far, my favorite thing about the Oura Ring is definitely the sleep tracker. I would definitely say the data it provides here is on point, and it's even able to visually show me my sleep cycle, including how long it took me to fall asleep and how much time was spent in REM, light, and deep sleep. It's also tracking oxygen saturation, breathing regularity, and movement during this time, which I personally find really interesting. Now, as someone who doesn't usually wear rings, I'll admit that I hated sleeping with the Oura Ring on at first. I kept feeling what I can only describe as like finger claustrophobia. Like I just kept nervously fidgeting with it, anxious that it might get stuck or cut off circulation. I don't know, I'm a weird guy, but now that I'm used to it, I do have to say it actually is pretty comfortable and easy to sleep with. It's definitely a lot less bulky and irritating than wearing an Apple Watch, and don't even get me started on those friggin' chest strap things. But then we have the activity tracker, and this is where things get dicey for me, because to be totally honest, I didn't find it to be super accurate. Now, for those who don't know, calorie trackers in general, like across the board, any device, are pretty much never accurate. That's because there's just too many variables at play for any device to reliably get that metric right. But unfortunately, Oura also seems less accurate at counting steps than something like the Apple Watch. But here's the thing, with devices like this, I find that the trends matter a lot more than the super specific accuracy. I don't think it matters if your steps are a little bit off or if your exact sleep minutes are a little bit off. The problem is, and maybe this is just a me thing, but I feel like I am constantly taking my Oura Ring off and on throughout the day. So while it is fine to bring the Oura Ring in the shower, I prefer not to get mine wet, so that's when I charge it. But then I take it off again to put product in my hair, and then I take it off again when I lift weights at the gym, and then I take it off again to stick my hand in a bag of chips, and you get the idea. All those little instances add up fast. In fact, one of these instances almost caused a massive problem for me because within the first few days of getting my Oura Ring, I sat down to eat on a date at an Ethiopian restaurant, but for those who don't know, Ethiopian food is eaten with your hands. So I put the ring in my pocket and enjoyed my meal, but after finishing my meal and getting back to my place, I realized my brand new $450 Oura Ring wasn't in my pocket. So I spent the next 10 minutes in panic mode looking everywhere for it before thankfully I finally found it on my rug at home. Although one feature that I really did enjoy was Oura's uncanny ability to detect when you're active. So when it sees that you're moving around with an elevated heart rate, it'll try to guess which activity you just did based on your most common pre-selected exercises. And sometimes you're gonna have to lie. Sure, Oura, I was wrestling for 10 minutes at 9 p.m. Let's go with that. But hey, let's move things along here and get into the pros and cons. I feel like I've been a little bit of a negative Nancy with the activity section, so let's start with the pros. Pro number one, first off, the Oura Ring does a great job tracking sleep and recovery. This is where Oura really shines, so if that's what you're looking for, you won't be disappointed with that feature. Second, the Oura Ring gives you a ton of valuable data, and it seems to detect patterns in my HRV and heart rate metrics just as well as the other top tier devices. So if you're a data nerd, health enthusiast, or just someone who loves recognizing patterns, you're gonna have a field day with this, and it's gonna keep you busy for a long time. Third, the Oura Ring is definitely a lot more comfortable than an Apple Watch or any of the chest strap trackers I've tried. With those, I've dreaded even putting them on, especially at night, because I just find them unbearable and uncomfortable. If you're used to wearing rings, you're probably gonna find it very comfortable. Now the cons. First and worst is the $6 a month subscription. Is this the most expensive subscription in the world? No, but it's the principle for me. If I spend $300 plus on something, I shouldn't have to pay to access my data, and I'll just leave it at that. 8 sleep? I'm coming for your ass next. Second, like anything with a battery, the battery life will weaken over time. To start, the Oura Ring will probably last you somewhere between 4 to 5 days without a charge, but after a few years, you'll probably be charging it a lot more frequently. Now personally, I just put my Oura Ring on the charger while I take a shower, and I never have to think much about it as long as I do that. But if you're using it for years, who knows how much that battery is going to degrade in that time span. Finally, the last con, the activity tracking aspect is just meh. The main problem here is how many physical activities are not ring friendly, but many people can navigate this limitation by using Oura for sleep and recovery, alongside maybe a cheap, older model Apple Watch to track activity. That's what a lot of people on Reddit seem to do, so it's always an option. So, who should buy an Oura Ring? My honest opinion after using the Oura Ring and reading tons of reviews and Reddit posts from other people who have used it is that the Oura Ring is a really, really fantastic sleep and recovery tracker, but just an okay activity tracker. The perfect customer for an Oura Ring is honestly going to boil down to someone who is actually going to wear the device on a regular basis as much as possible. Because no matter which health wearable you wind up buying, the best one for you will always be the one that spends the most time on your body gathering the most data. If you regularly wear a ring or wedding band on your finger throughout the day and you rarely misplace it, and maybe you even wear it to bed sometimes, this would probably fit seamlessly into your life and be a great choice, especially if you're primarily interested in improving your sleep and recovery. But if you know that you'd never feel comfortable sleeping with a ring on, or that you're mostly interested in an activity tracker that can be worn while you lift weights or do some other grippy activity, you should probably take a pass on this one. I will say though, just for the people who aren't sure how they'd feel about wearing a ring, I hated wearing my Oura Ring for the first 2 weeks just because I wasn't used to having a ring on my finger, and also because I don't like looking fake married, but that's also a problem I created for myself by not sizing it correctly first. I can tell you from personal experience, if you stick it out, after a few weeks, you will get used to wearing a ring and you won't even notice it anymore. And one last thing, this one's big. If you're thinking about getting an Oura Ring for yourself, consider using my affiliate referral link down below. I'll do my best to keep it updated with the best possible deal or promotion, and using that link goes a long way in helping to support the channel. So if you feel I was honest and helpful, I genuinely appreciate you guys using it. Otherwise, like, subscribe, or let us know how you like your Oura Ring down below. I'll catch you guys next time.